Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So I know I've derided some people on the left recently, specifically with this Russia stuff. I think it's dangerous. I don't necessarily think it's an innocuous issue. I think there could be massive consequences within the way that countries spiral into conflicts. Like, it's not like this thing of it's like, what war do you think that people just kind of went into hunky-dory and everything is fucking awesome? They make bad mistakes. They make certain decisions that take them down certain paths where they get to a certain point where their action is somewhat compelled by the events that they're surrounded in. I would prefer not to go down particular paths that would increase the likelihood of tumbling down those type of rabbit holes. And yet, it definitely seems that we're tumbling down a particular rabbit hole. I've heard some lefties make this argument that Donald Trump is in collusion with Vladimir Putin, and because he's in collusion with Putin, that he's really not doing anything against Vladimir Putin's interests. This is a magnificent amount of self-deception. Donald Trump is talking about expanding influence in Syria. He's killed people in those bombing strikes. Now, granted, the military said they were defending themselves, but you're defending yourself in somebody else's country. Understand how insane that sounds. We understand we're in your country illegally, but we're defending ourselves in your country while we're standing here illegally. Step by step, we're inching closer to the brink. Some people have called me hyperbolic for this. I would say it's not hyperbolic in the least, and at the very least, if I'm being hyperbolic, I'm not the only one. So today, well, just to make the point that I'm not the only one. January 25th, 2018. The Doomsday Clock is set to 2 minutes to midnight, closest since 1950. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Doomsday Clock is a clock. Midnight is essentially destruction, nuclear destruction. That's us, a bunch of apes, killing ourselves using our technology. Instead of using technology for the benefit of humanity, we use it in order to eradicate humanity from the face of the earth. That's what midnight is. We're 2 minutes to midnight. This is the closest that we've been since the 1950s. I kind of want that to sink in. This is not an innocuous period in history. This is magnificently dangerous. And it's as if people are wearing blinders and they think that you have Donald Trump as your goddamn president. Now, it's one thing if you had John F. Kennedy as your president. An argument can be made that Kennedy got us into that conflict, the Cuban Missile Crisis in the first place in his attempts to kill Castro. But at the very least, you understand that he had a certain amount of political acumen and political skill in the way that he goes about his affairs. Can you say the same thing is true for Donald Trump? And can you say the same thing is true for the neocons that are surrounding Donald Trump? I don't think you can. Another thing I woke up to today. This. Putin claims new invincible missile can pierce U.S. defenses. Russian President Vladimir Putin boasted Thursday of new weaponry he claims will render NATO defenses completely useless, delivering a warning to the world about Russia's resurgent military might. In an annual address to Russian parliament, the Kremlin leader said Russia had developed a few nuclear-capable cruise missiles with unlimited range that's capable of eluding air defense systems. He also said Russia had developed an invincible missile that can deliver a warhead at hypersonic speed. Putin is running for re-election in mid-March on a platform that emphasizes his strength as a leader. Thursday's speech was an occasion for the Russian president to showcase his country's military might, or his strides in military technology. Russia still has the greatest nuclear potential in the world, but nobody listened to us, he said. Listen now. One new development, the creation of low-flying cruise missiles capable of stealthy operations. Putin said the missile would be nuclear-powered and showed a video simulating its flight. Since the range is unlimited, it can maneuver as much as necessary, Putin said. Another military development, Putin said, was a weapon capable of flying like a meteorite at several times the speed of sound. It will be practically invulnerable, he said. The speed will be hypersonic. The missile, called the Avangard, has been successfully tested. Russian Strategic Missile Force Commander Sergei Kedokeev, oh man, I'm pronouncing that name horribly. All right, I'm just calling him Sergei. Told the state news agency TASS. creating the strategic missile system Avangard equipped the glide vehicle has become a no less efficient response to the deployment of American anti-missile defenses. Kryovega, Sergei said. According to TASS, its testing has been successfully completed. Russia's Missile Defense Ministry has launched a webpage seeking the public's help in naming its new arsenal. To this, add that military spending for NATO nations has spiked. Add that many nations have started moving troops to the border or closer to the border of NATO. Add that the United States, like I said before, is in Syria illegally, and there are operations that are taking place with the United States in close proximity to the Syrian military and the Russian military. I would not be throwing around the term Nerf bombs. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. The nuclear scientists have moved the clock for 2 minutes to midnight. If I am being hyperbolic, so are they. So are they. Alright guys, if you enjoy the content, feel free to share, like, subscribe, and of course, you can always support the Patreon. Thanks guys.